Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this class, what we'll do is we'll discuss about what is meant by the auxiliaries and the modals. So let us dive into this topic. Here, these auxiliaries and modals are also called as verbs. So let us look at the definition here from the basic point of view. That is, what do you mean by auxiliaries and what do you mean by modals? So if you look at this concept here, what do you mean by auxiliaries and modals here? You will see a simple definition, that is auxiliary verbs are also verbs, you can call like that, okay, or else you can call this auxiliary verbs are used with the main verb. Let me highlight this the sentence here for you. What is the basic meaning here? Okay, the auxiliary verbs, which are also called as a helping verbs, they are basically called as a helping verbs. What do you call this one? They are helping verbs. Here they are used along with the main verbs. They are used with the main verbs to form a different tenses. That's fine. Different tenses, voices, moods, questions, and negatives, etc. So what do you mean by this, and what do you mean by this definition means you can form any sentence. Okay, so what are the varieties? Tenses, voices, moods, questions, negatives. So all these things you can actually form by using a auxiliaries and modals. Okay, now why these auxiliaries and modals are important? Why these auxiliaries and modals are important is here you need to understand that whenever you are using these auxiliaries and modals, so basically this they are categorized into, even the auxiliaries are categorized into varieties. Okay, they are called as a primary and secondary, like that. So nevertheless, whatever we are talking about here, you need to understand one simple logic. What is that simple logic is here? So where we actually use this, so that is very important here. Okay, and how to use this, so that is also important here. So for example here, main point. Okay, main point here. So unless you understand here this main point, so you will not be able to appreciate why we are using this many auxiliaries and modals here. Okay, so like now just say look at a simple topic, simple point. What the point is here? We all know we know that word called as a can be. Okay, we know that. So where do you use can? Where do you use may? So both convey same meaning. But whenever you are using this, for example, can is used where like this. Whenever the ability is expressed, I can kick the goal. I can kick the goal. Okay, so it is basically you are expressing it. Okay, so the same sentence. Okay, when you are making it by using may. Okay, may I kick the goal. Same action. We are not going to change anything here. May I kick the goal? So now when you are using may I kick the goal here, what is happening here is basically you are actually taking some permission from your captain. Okay, from coach, captain. So you can write like this, asking the captain that can I kick the goal? Okay, taking the permission. Okay, so but instead here when you say I can kick the goal, so what does this say? This says that you are saying that what is your, you can do it. Okay, so this is a possibility, like anyway it is written that, so this is possible. So most of that you can say instead of possibility, the right word is ability. You are actually expressing your capacity. That's the right way. Okay, that's the right way of saying. Okay, so like this this auxiliaries and modals are expressed in English language in a versatile fashion. Okay, so for that reason, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to know what is the list of all the varieties, all these varieties. Then in which category it is formed into, which categories they are segregated into. Then you will be knowing. Try some small examples. So likewise, it's not just a can, may, like this just every day here. So we have something like a list here. So what are those lists? So what are those varieties? Okay, basically these auxiliaries can also be called as a primal. This another word is called as a primal verbs. So here auxiliary verbs, for example, here are basic. When you look at this concept here, they can be categorized into three things. Okay, what are those things are here? Be verb, have verb, and do verb. There are three varieties. So the rest of the things, what are the rest of the things? Like is, am, are actually the derivation of the be verb itself. So what are the derivation of be verb? So the derivation of be verb is, am, let me list out here, is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been. Is, am, are, was, were, be, being, and been. So for both the continuous tenses and also for passive voices, we use the same sentence, same thing. For passive, we use the same be verb, and also for continuous tense, we use the same thing. Okay, what is the best example? So if you look at the best example here, she is reading. The work was done. She is reading. The work was done. So like this. Okay. Now, what is the meant by have verb? The have verb here has derivatives, that is a has, have, and had. So and had here. Okay. So where do we use a have? Where do we use have, has, and where do we use this? Okay. So that we will be discussing in all those things. Here, for example, anyway, we can say that here when you are discussing the tenses, we will discuss all those things. And when, so basically, has usually will come for a third person singular. That at least you remember. Third person singular. So has generally used for third person singular. Rest of the first person, second person singular, and first person, second person, third person plural, we can use any variety. Okay, so this have and had we can use accordingly. Okay, so that's not an important thing right now. Right now, what we are interested is, we are interested to know what are the available verbs here. Okay, so here in this case, the perfect tenses, for perfect tenses we use this one thing. Okay, then here you see that here they have gone, he had eaten, she has a pen. Okay, she has a pen. So likewise you can use the sentences. Okay, this is correct. Then another verb is do. So do, did, and does. Does is also same thing for a third person singular, we use does. And I don't agree. Where do we use this one? We use this for simple tenses, simple tense, and also we use for negatives and operations. Here it goes. Okay. So for example, here I do not agree. Did you go? Does it cost that much? Does it cost that much? Something like that. Okay, that is called that much. So like this you can do. So these are varieties for the auxiliary verbs. Okay, so basically you have to remember one basic important point. These auxiliaries sometimes they also function as a main verbs. Okay, how is that? Okay, look at here. She is a queen. Okay, so now verb, this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is a, you can't call a queen, you have to call the queen. Yes, okay. Now this is the object. So subject, verb plus object. So in one single sentence, you have formed a subject, verb plus argument. So it's a perfect some right sentence here. Okay. So this way, actually, you can say here what happened here. The main verb here. So actually, you want to say that what is the some verb here, right? Subject, verb plus object. So, but there is no need for that saying that what the subject is actually the place. Okay, you are actually stating that what is the occurrence of that, what is the state of that respective subject. So the state of the respective subject is queen here. Okay, so here the verb is basically here in this auxiliary verb is basically acting like a main verb itself. So that's the way one variety. This is one variety. Okay. Then we have modal verbs. So what are the modal verbs? Here modal verbs generally are used to express ability, permission, you can say, yeah, necessity, obligation, probability, and possibilities. So all these things, generally this occurs. What are those things? Ability. The first one is ability. Then second one is permission. Third one is necessity. Then fourth one is obligation. Then the fifth one is probability. And the last one is something like sixth one, you can call sixth one possibility, etc., etc. You can use like this. Okay. So what are these modals? So modals basically they are also called as a defective verbs. Why they are called as defective verbs? Because they do not change the form. So they stay the form as they are. Why they stay the same form as they are is here. If you look at the primary verbs, so be is the verb, right? For I have to use am. For she, I have to use a is or was. Okay, so here for you, I have to use are. Okay, so I would be using this simple sentence. Okay, simple, basic, simple present. So I am Srikanth. Okay, then you are something Mohan. She is Samantha, some name. Okay, likewise. Okay, so here am, is, or, like, so here the be verb here, the normal basic, the be verb has been converted into three varieties here. It has been changed. Okay, it is not in the same fashion. Here, in this case, the be verb, they do not change. Why they do not change, why they remain calm is here you can see that like this. That is one example here. Okay, she can. I can dance. She can swim. She can ride. Some you can use some other. So this is a first person. Okay, we can. You can. They can. Likewise, you can. So there is no change in here. Okay. Why there is no change here is because these are modals here. Okay. So the modals do not change the basic form. So they do not change the form. They stay as such when even the subject tenses and always anything that being followed. So that based upon that we will look at it. But here the modals usually do not change. So that's the reason why they are called as a defective verbs. Here normally it's a name. Okay, don't worry about too much details here. So primary verbs, these are auxiliary, primary auxiliaries or auxiliary verbs. Generally they are three varieties: be, have, do, and they change the forms. So please keep this point in mind. Now and sometimes the primary verbs also, what they do, they function as a main verb. So that's another important point here. Okay, now coming to the understanding of this model, so varieties of this modal verbs here, the first one we can use it, what we can have a look at here is can. What do you mean by can? So this is basically, it expresses the ability, permission, and possibility. So you have to remember that this you have to remember this meaning here. Okay, so where do you use can verb? So where do we use this can verb is whenever there is an ability, whenever there is a permission, whenever there is a possibility. All these three places we can use can. Example here, she can swim. Okay, so what does this signify? This signify that actually you are saying that it's a possibility. She can swim is a possibility. Or why to write? Yes, I'll point it out like this. So she can swim. So can I come in? Can I come in is you are asking a permission. You are asking permission. Okay. So ability means yeah, this is the one. Okay. I can dance. Is a simple sentence. Okay, likewise you should be able to form a sentence and then remember it. Okay, so can is used for ability, permission, and also possibility. Then where do we use a could? The could is basically used for past ability and possibilities. Past ability, polite request, and possibilities. So what is the past ability? It means you were doing before, right now you are not doing it. Okay, I could run faster earlier means in previous days you were able to run fast. You are able to run fast, but now you are not doing it because health issues, knee pain, something. Okay, so polite request. Okay, polite request is this one. This is a very good example here. This one. Okay, so polite request is here, this one. Could you help me? Could you help me? Can. I can dance. Could you help me? Then possibilities. What are the possibilities? So the same, you can use the she can ride. So that is, you can use the same sentence here. Okay, so she could ride. She could ask. She could ask. So this is basically the polite, this possibility. You can do it. Okay, some possibility. Okay, so she could write is one. She could write is the right sentence. Okay, but anyway, anything is this is a verb here, so no problem. All the things are here. So these are the varieties of this can and could in a modal verbs here. The next one here, may, might, must. So where do we use may? May is basically used for whenever you want to ask permission, possibility, and wishes. In these categories, we use a may. So what is the may here? Permission, possibility, wish. May I sit? You are asking the permission. Then it may rain. So this is basically the possibility. Okay. So sometimes you can ask, you can do wish also. Okay. So may I have your phone? May I have your phone? Okay. So this is basically the wish. You would like to have somebody's phone. Okay. So here this is a may. Like this. Then might. In case of might here, so might is basically weaker possibility of the may. Weaker possibility in the sense that, so you are not sure about 100%, or you will even, so here what is basically here, it may rain. It may rain is a possibility, right? So it may rain is basically how you are expressing it. So with some, you are actually, you are expressing the sentence here, it may rain, based upon with a confidence, right? It may rain. Okay, the way I am actually expressing now, look at the sentence, it may rain, means the tone that I am expressing is with the confidence, right? Confidence tone I am doing, right? So, but here, when you don't know the with the confidently, with 100% sure you don't know, but you are just guessing it, then it might rain. So in such cases, we'll use the word it might rain. So you are actually saying a safe words here. Okay. So something happens and then it will not rain, then you are in safe position. Means I said it might rain. Okay. I am not sure that it will rain. Okay. It will rain. It must rain. So like that. So you are actually giving a sentence with a safe sentence here. Okay. So for that reason, we'll be using this might word. So just it's basically weaker possibility of the may. That's one sentence here. Then, yeah, apart from that, you have here must. The must is basically used for necessity, strong obligation, and deduction. Necessity, strong obligation, and deduction. So basically, instead of necessity and deduction, you can actually remember the sentence like this. It's a strong obligation. That's the right word. Must means strong obligation, means compulsory, you have to do it. There is no other option for you. In such cases, we'll use a must. Okay. So what are those things? You must to obey. So there is no other option for you. You have to listen. You must to obey. Strong obligation. He must be tired. This is basically strong obligation. So necessity and deduction is basically he must be, deduction is this one. Okay. He must be tired means you are actually making some logical reasoning out of it. So that's the way, this is the logical outcome. So that's where generally when you want to say, there you'll be using, okay, he must be tired. This is basically what we can call as a logical reasoning or logical deduction. So that's the right word here. And necessity is basically is one sentence here. For a necessity, I'll write here, I must win this match. Otherwise, I'll not go to finals. So RCB must win this IPL. Otherwise, it will be for the next year. So 19 years, it will become 19 years. Okay. At least it has to win the 18th match, 18th IPL match. Okay. So likewise, generally this may, might, must generally are used. So remember here, what you should do is here, you have to understand the words here. Okay. May is used for possibilities, polity, possibility and wish. Might is used for weaker possibility. Must is used for necessity, strong obligation and deduction. So like this, at least you try to practice as many sentences as possible, but minimum is this, you have to go through this slide so that we'll get some idea of it. The next one is shall and should. Where do we use shall? Shall is basically used for whenever you are giving suggestions of offers, future, like old usage. It's basically shall is not used that much. Like this, but generally where we do use suggestions and offer, or when you are going to express some future usage like that. Okay. So here one more point, shall is also used in future tenses. mostly it is used in future tenses. Okay, there also will be using mostly here. So means you don't know what is going to happen, that time you use go. I shall come, shall we go, I shall return. Yeah, this is there here. So like this. Okay, so some suggestions, offers, future that you want to express. So there, all those places we will be using a shall here. Whereas should is used whenever there is a advice, moral duty, expectations. So all those things we'll be using a should. So where is the should? You should stay. Say you should stay is here. The advice, you should stay. You must go. You should write this assignment. Okay, you should do this. Okay, so he should be home is basically something like moral duty. Okay, then we have the another thing that is expectation. So he should have come by now. Okay, something like expectation. Okay, he should have done that. Okay, he should have deposited the amount in my bank account, like this. So like this also we can use this advice, moral duty and expectations. Then the next one is will, would. Then we have something like that. This is the last one here. Ought to, need, dare, used to. So this will basically complete the varieties here. Okay, these are all varieties. So will, would, will, would. Okay, here in this will case, future willingness and determination. What are this future willing and determination? Okay, so in the future he will go. He will go. Then willingness is I will help you. I will help. I will take you. I will drop you. Like this. Okay, I will drop. So this is the another variety of this one here. I will drop. That is called as a willingness. Means you are voluntarily doing something. So there we'll be using a will word. Will as a will modal verb. Okay. Then determination is basically I will reach. I will succeed. I will succeed this semester or this year. I will complete all the drops this year. Something else, some names. Okay, just for fun I am saying this. So I will succeed. So where is when you are expressing the determination? So that one. Okay, or I will crack this competition exam. That is the right word. I will crack. I will crack this competitive exam. So that is one way. Okay, simple way of saying this. Okay, then here that is the case here. The one. The next one is would. Would is basically used polite request, past habit, unreal condition somewhere. Okay, so would you pass me the salt? Would you give me your pen? Okay. Would you pass me the salt? This is basically something we can call it a polite. That's okay. He would walk daily. He would walk daily is a past. Okay. He would walk daily is this one. Okay. And unreal conditions also will be using. We don't know. Okay. He would change. I would change. So I can write that I would change. So I would change is an unreal condition because I am not going to change. That's the right one. So I would change means in the future also I won't change. I am what I am, like this. Then this is the one way of saying this. Then this is the last one here. The last slide is here in case of these models. So these are not used normally. They are used as something like in special conditions, special places. Okay, very rare we'll be using this one. So what are those is here? The first one is O2. O2 is basically whenever there is a moral obligation and a probability, there we'll be using O2. Okay, what do you mean by moral obligation and probability is moral obligation means here you ought to help the poor. Okay, so I ought to go that place. Okay, so like this. Okay, probability means you don't know that place and so you are not sure whether you are doing it or not, but you are planning. Okay, so you ought to help the poor, you ought to help, you ought to go to that place, as your mom told you to do so, like this. Okay, so then need. So need is basically is used for necessity, mainly for negatives or question tags like this. Okay, need you go, you need not worry like this. Okay, need you go, like in some places we will be using this need to go. Dare is basically used for challenging or courage or any negatives. So same thing. Okay, so dare, you say he dare not move. Okay, I dare you to be quiet. Okay, I dare you to do that, like this. Okay, then use to is basically this generally we use in regular sense. Use to. Okay, any past habits or states, there will be using this use to. So what are this use to is here? Look at here. I used to play cricket. Meaning is now you are not playing cricket. Before you used to play it, because this is the past habit. Now you are not following that habit. Why? In school days you have time to play, but right now you have your you have occupied with work and all those things. So that's the reason why you are not doing it. Okay, like this. So this completes the all the list of all the availabilities of words of the modal auxiliary verbs. So these are the things. Now coming to the point here where we use this all these auxiliaries and then this modal verbs here. So if you look at this point here, first point is we generally the usage is basically modal plus base verb form of the verb. That's the first rule. Whenever where we use this, so directly we will not be using modal verbs unless and until it is a special case. So what is the special case? So the special case is here. We have said that just before only we have seen that, right? Like this, it's a primary, there we'll be using it. Okay, so normally we don't be using it. So other than normally modal, generally in a straight form it will not come. Okay, so modal verb generally comes directly with the tag, or we can use this, it will come with the additional of any other base form of a verb. They are not like a main verbs here. Okay, they are, we can call it as a side verbs. Okay, she can dance. So she dances. She dances. This also gives some sentence here. The main verb is we. This is the one. Okay, but you want to convert that sentence into this way, we will be using this modal verb like that. Okay, so this is the first formula. Then whenever you are using this negatives, modals, negative modals, modals, then like this you can use. Can is converted into cannot or can't, means not able to. Must is converted into must not, mustn't, means prohibition. You mustn't do it, you must not do it. Should is converted into should not, shouldn't, means advised not to. Then need is converted into need not and needn't, means no necessity, like this. Okay, so like this is a one rule here, key rule. Then likewise the same thing here itself. Then modals, when you are using in the past tense, that is a modal plus have plus V3 form of the verb we have to use. Okay, so for example, could plus have plus V3 form. So means past possibility. She could have won the race. This is the modal. This is the have verb as expressed here, right? So modal have plus this one. Okay. So this is the have verb here, and then one is basically the verb in V3 form. Okay, that's a have verb. Then three things must come into picture. 1, 2, 3. All these three things should come in here. Then should have plus V3. So should, when you are using a should, you need to see that it's basically the past advice not followed. Okay, so you should have studied, means this is the modal, this is the have, this is the V3 form. So for the past possibility, so this is used for past possibilities. Should is used for past advice that is not followed. So must have not. Okay, so must have not is basically used for strong assumption. So what is strong assumption? He must have left. This is the modal verb. Have is already there. Then left is a verb here. Okay, so this is strong assumption, means you know that compulsory the so 100% you know that person, so 100% you know what is the going to be the outcome of the next event. So that is that, in that place you should be using this. He must have gone, must have come, must have left. Then another case, may or might have plus with. Okay, where we'll be using this one, past probability. Okay, so they might have. So might is the modal verb, have and reached is the verb here. So verb, this is also in V3 form. So obviously, then the would have V3 form. Would have V3 form is becomes a imaginary past condition. So what is the imaginary past condition is here? I have helped you. I would have helped you. Means it is not so in the past you have done that. So many people generally promises like this, right? I would have given you, I would have done that. So like that. So same thing. Okay, I would have done that, I would have helped you. Okay, like this. So this is just a past imagination. Okay, imaginary of past condition. So that's it. Then likewise another thing also we have that is called as a semi-modals. So the semi-modals, just same thing, just before we have seen, whenever this O2 is a moral duty or advice, right? We have seen this slide. So you have to respect the elder. So this is basically what to say, it behaves like a partly modal and partly the main verb. So that is the case here. Why we had put the slide here is, so that's the basic reason. Okay, so moral duty or advice, whereas the same thing what we have seen is here just before. So moral obligation or probability. Okay, so likewise here also this is there here for us. O2 means moral duty or advice. So then need is basically used for necessity in a negative or interrogative sense. Okay, dare is basically used for a challenging. So mostly it can be negative or interrogative. Then used to is used for past habits or stated. Okay, so she used to live here. So this basically when it behaves like a partly modals and partly main verb, such cases. Whereas here in this case what we are doing is we are looking at a complete list. What is actually basic function here? Okay, so that we are using it and then trying to apply. But in this case we are using where it is done. Okay, where when it is behave like a partly modal and partly like a main verb, like okay. I used to respect. You ought to respect. You need not worry. Then yeah. So dare he fight. So this is all the same thing. So it's an extinction that we can say. Then what is the basic difference between all these varieties of modals? Okay, so can, could, okay, then should. So all these varieties are there, right? So in these cases, where we use the basic differences here between the can, could, and all these things and all here. First of all, you should be able to understand the point. What is the basic point here is, what is the minimum things that you should know the differences. Okay, so most of the time when you are using this modal verbs, modal verbs, what happens is they are like they looks like all the same. Okay, so they convey the same meaning. Okay, but not here. Look at here, can versus may. Can is basically used for only the ability to express the ability. So may is used for to ask the permission. So that is the main point you should be able to remember in exam. So if you don't do that and then try to frame a sentence vaguely, then that will be the answer also will be in the exam. Okay, so which is a false. So be careful with that, and then remember this right here. So should is used for advice, must is used for the strong obligation. That's the right thing. Okay, must is always used for strong obligation, whereas would and could, you can see would is basically used for willingness or polite request, whereas could is used for possibility or the ability. I could done that. Okay, so like this. Okay, then shall plus will versus will. If you look at here, shall is used for formal things. Okay, I shall come. Okay, very formal way of saying it. Okay, whereas will is used for determination of future. I will crack this exam. I will do it. I will win this match. Likewise. Okay, so that's the way we do it. Okay. Now, coming to the examination point of view, if you look at this varieties here, common errors, generally types used here in this by using the auxiliaries and modals here. So he can to swim. Here, to is not used here. Okay, he can swim. So you can't use this infinitive to this. Okay, so after the verb, after the modal verbs, don't use this infinitives. So he can swim. He must. S, you should not use it here. Okay, so like third person singular always carries yes for the verb, so don't use this yes for the verbs here. Okay, so like this, and he should do, like the same thing. This is also same thing. He could went, so no, he went, that's he went there, that much is enough. Okay, he must have went, that is no, so he must have gone. So gone, V3 form. So here we are using a V2 verb here, so that is wrong, and we are using a V3 form here. So that is one point you should remember. Like this, some small mistakes, try to avoid. This is one simple example here. Okay, you must practice that. Okay, then coming to the main things, generally what are the main points you have to remember for competition exam is these auxiliaries and modals. Generally you can see mostly these type of questions in spotting errors, sentence improvement, and fill in the blanks. So let me state it here: spotting errors, sentence improvement, and fill in the blanks. So in all these three cases, generally the possibilities of asking a question is very likely. So for that reason, you have to take this topic very seriously and then prepare well for exam. And then what I have done is I have given all the slides and all here, so all the important points and pin to pin point. Okay, so and the basic differences, and then so I have made sure that, so in all the slides here, looking at the slides, okay, so all these slides will not have any repetition and all those things, right? So you, and also I have omitted all extra unnecessary things. So I request you, what I would do is, I would strongly recommend you to go through this video twice or thrice, as many times as possible, which when until you are understanding level, and then practice as many as samples or exercises that you can find, and then get a master over it. So that is the thing related to this auxiliaries and modals. So auxiliaries and modals are basically helping verbs. That's a simple definition. Okay, they are not the main verbs, they are just only helping verbs. They are there here to enhance the sentence arrangement. Okay, sentence formation. So that's something just we can say for regarding this auxiliaries and modal verbs definition. I hope you understood the concept of auxiliaries and modal verbs, and then we'll meet again. And please do subscribe to this YouTube channel and press the bell icon and like it, share it, and forward it to your friends, and make these videos helpful for you, everyone here. Thank you.